The tattoo I'm doing today is it's going to be a portrait of a woman's face, and she's holding a candle towards her face. So there's this really cool lighting going on, and we're just going to have a smoky shadow all around it. So it's going to kind of be like an illustrative realism piece, black and gray. My name is Sarah. I'm from Scarborough, and I've been tattooing 16 years. I've always been an artist. I feel like I've always been drawing my whole life. It came really easily to me from a very young age. I would draw like all kinds of stuff like monsters, dragons, witches, giants, that sort of thing. And I loved painting as well. I would say I had some difficulty growing up. I was a little bit rebellious, skipping class, getting tattooed, that sort of thing. I moved around to a bunch of different high schools growing up, trying to figure out what would fit. And it just wasn't fitting for me, But I do remember going to some art classes in a few of the high schools, and they were always fun. I feel like I always excelled in that. There was a few shops in Scarborough that were around where I grew up that I would go into and check out from time to time. Lower East Side, Highway 2, Fine Line is where I started, and they were probably like one of the few tattoo shops that existed in Toronto way back then when there weren't so many in the city as there are now. But I remember just being really excited and thinking this is a really cool place to be, Just the vibe and the energy. I loved it. I got pregnant at a young age, so I was a young mother at 19. So you can imagine how much that changes your life when you're younger. So I had a lot of responsibilities from a young age. It was hard to navigate tattooing, being a single young mom, wanting to figure that out. My first tattoo was when I was probably 16, and I went to Tattoo-Rama in the Beaches and walked in. I looked on the wall at the flash, and I picked out a little angel, got it on my lower back, and yeah, from then I just kept getting more and more. Even when I started tattooing, I had to work 2 other small jobs because I was worried about, you're not really making a lot of money when you first start tattooing, especially within that first year, you're not making a lot of money. So I had to have these 2 other part-time jobs just to be able to survive as a single mom. And basically one of the shops was we want you to be here full-time, and I wasn't ready for it. I was too scared to make that jump. And they basically had to let me go because of it. And that's when I had decided to okay, I need to be in it. So I had to let go of all the other jobs and go in it full force. It just seemed such far out of reach concept for me to think of myself as a tattoo artist. But the more and more I started working on my portfolio, I would try and draw so that, my drawings would be transferable into tattoo designs. And actually a lot of people started buying my designs for tattoos and wanting me to draw tattoos specifically for them to get done. So it just kind of worked out that way where, I went into the shop that was tattooing my designs on people, and that's kind of how I got into it. Favorite things I like to draw and tattoo would be skulls, flowers, floral designs, ornamental, I love women's faces, portraits, nautical themes, religious themes. I really enjoy tattooing those as well, statues. My family, they're very supportive of what I do. They weren't really that supportive, they weren't totally stoked about me being a tattoo artist at first. I don't think my mom really liked me getting totally covered in tattoos. But, I proved to be very consistent with what I wanted, and I worked hard at it, and they came around. And, I wouldn't have been able to do this without their help anyways. As a single mom, getting into the tattoo industry is, it's a lot of sacrifice. With their support, I was able to do this. Been tattooing a long time. I have so many favorites, but they do change over the years. One that comes to mind would be, tattooing my dad and tattooing my brother as well. All of my family. Those are really great. But my dad actually got a memorial tattoo for my brother who passed away, and that was a really special moment for us. My dad, he's very creative. He's a carpenter, so he found a way to use his skills with drawing for building homes. And I think there was, on his side of his family, there was, he had some aunts that were painters as well. And my mom, even at birthday parties, we didn't have a lot of money, so she would find ways to, have all these crafts and stuff for birthday parties. She would make our Halloween costumes. She would sew them all together. Even for, she would make puppets and stuff for us to open on Christmas. I remember my dad actually built this wooden puppet theater, and my mom sewed together all these puppets for us to play with. It was really cool. Yeah, I've tattooed my daughter a few times. I had to really tell her to wait because, she's grown up around it. She's always been interested in it. So I said, you have to wait until you're 18. Even now, she wants to get her hands and neck done, and I have to be okay, slow down. You have your whole life ahead of you. There's been a few lessons that I've come to learn during my tattooing years. One of them that sticks out for me is how a tattoo ages. I find it super important as a tattoo artist to have an understanding of how your artwork is going to look on the skin many years to come. It's important to keep that in mind with the design, with the needle groupings that you use, with the colors you use, the shades, everything comes into play. So and being able to now, after 16 years, look back and see how some of my tattoos have aged, it really teaches you a lot. I feel like there's never been a time in my life where I thought I wanted to quit tattooing. There's definitely been ups and downs, tattooing, it's very unforgiving, and at the end of the day, it doesn't owe you anything. But at this point, I'm in it for life, or as long as I possibly can. There's so much I love about tattooing. I love the fact that I get to be a part of this huge decision that a person is making to mark themselves for life. I feel like it's such a personal choice for somebody to get a tattoo, and I feel honored to be a part of that.